Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Beyond the Summit presentation, and we are watching the C qualifiers here for the Boston Major. And this is Fnatic versus Warriors Gaming Unity. One could say that this is probably gonna be the Fnatic's most difficult matchup today. I'm Luminous, and I'm joined by Blaze, and we're bringing you guys this best of one. This is an AP remake. We had a little bit of difficulty joining the lobbies, but now we are here. Unfortunately, we didn't give you the draft, but the heroes are, well, all here.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing a few new faces towards the SCA scene. Magnus and Bane are not the most common of pickups. Even the Templar Assassin we've only seen once or twice today, so relatively uncommon by comparison to most of the mids. So it should be pretty interesting to see how this all plays out. I mean, Magnus versus TA. I mean, what is this, 2012?
Yeah, actually, it is really a throwback, right? A lot of the hero that S4 has really brought to prominence. Templar Assassin obviously has received a couple of nerfs, but a couple of buffs as well in the items. Desolator is going to be something that we talk about. And hopefully we'll have time to talk about these, I guess, questions. Will a tower be killed before 10 minutes?
With this team, I would say, who knows? I mean, Ohio's Nature's Prophet is mostly gank oriented, so I'll say no.
Okay.
It's going to be close.
I went with yes. There's
Let's go with Fnatic. Roshan kills.
Yeah.
Is total magic or pure damage done to heroes? That's a tough one.
Do you believe in luminates or shockwaves?
Done to heroes. I don't know, man. That's awkward.
I'm gonna say maybe the Bane will do the most with brain stab. That sounds wrong.
I'm just gonna say Nature's Prophet. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. And then which team will win? We'll go with Fnatic, as they are favored in this matchup. But of course, WG.Unity are, like you said, probably one of the tougher opponents that Fnatic at least have to face today. And although they did have to go through the open qualifiers, I still think that they were definitely one of the stronger teams coming out of that, and obviously are more likely to have like the potential to take games off of these tier 1 teams. Like, they've shown that through each major qualifier. I mean, they've had to go through obviously Manila as well as the previous ones, and while they haven't qualified yet, I think that they are definitely one of the stronger teams in this pool of SEA.
Yeah, normally I would actually go with WG instead of Fnatic, but I think Fnatic's got the better draft here. So
yeah.
I'm favoring them as well. Just much more coordinated. They have, you know, being on the dire side, having Ursa is great. They have great ganks. They have good push, good team fight. So can't really go too wrong with what they got.
Ohio got a really good sentry ward. Was able to find an observer ward that was very far to the northeast. And that works out very much in their favor in terms of making sure this Nature's Prophet feels safe. So we're starting off with Windlace here. His Treants kind of doing their thing, blocking out camps and making it very difficult for the Coddle.
Okay, they're still kind of like really behind the tower. I wonder if he's trying to stack the wave in such a way that, you know, his wave dies under the tower, but Nana's doing a good job preventing that. So despite having pretty good tree micro, I don't think they accomplished too much of anything, actually.
At least Ohio's going to be able to kind of neutralize any potential long-term blocks, and it does keep out some of the camps respawning. So, X-Nova, Mana Leak, how do you feel about this spell now, man? Like, this, it seems to really take this part of the hero away from the laning stage, but it's still possible to get some value out of it?
Not when he's being traced by Treants. I hope that he didn't take the spell you know, too early, and he might have. And I honestly don't think he'll do anything. Maybe if he can get close enough for a leak, and then Nana comes in to also join to the harass. But I don't think Ohio minds too much, honestly. He's got the TP already. He's got the Windlace. He could always, you know, double port back, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is he can always just teleport out. And while he will lose some HP, he's got Salves and Tangos to deal with it, and is already trading efficiently against X-Nova thanks to these Treants. So I think he's actually in a pretty good spot here, and no matter what Coddle goes with, it's going to be a pretty hard lane for him to zone. And meanwhile, like, the other off lane is actually going to be the Axe jungling while the Bane off lanes, and actually sacrifice himself to neutrals to try to get back in quick with the Iron Talon to double salve. But more importantly, I want to look at this off lane Bane, and he's just kind of a placeholder while the Axe jungles, and maybe Axe will come in at level 4 or something. But what do you think Afu's chances are of actually doing something here in the top lane?
I think Bane's probably one of the best placeholders because he's so tanky and he could trade so effectively. And there you go, Brain Sap. He has that great stat. As I say that though, the two supports are gaining on. Impale is cooling down. Nightmare not being toggled around. Okay, now he does after dropping that field. Impale will hit, but I don't think they get that kill. Afu walks it off. In fact, he could turn around for another Brain Sap.
Yeah, Brain Sap versus Carapace kind of nullifies the heal at the same time it deals the damage, but in general, you're going to see that it doesn't really, it does allow him to survive a lot, and that's really important for his ability to actually stay in this off lane. He has 330 move speed with the Windlace as well, so pretty quick on his feet and able to at least survive against the level 1 supports.
Well, Ajit actually might get ganked here. Mushi does have that 1 point in skewer. The
Yeah,
1
he's going to go for the
build.
river to live. If he doesn't go for the river, he is absolutely dead.
Okay, well, he will need to. There is going to be a port coming in. Afu in position. He could maybe Nightmare at Mushi. Teleports in from Ohio as well. And double Knife Impale. That's going to be 1 kill. Second kill coming through, most likely. I say that, though. Afu still running away. The Treant's now tanking the tower a bit. They need, like, one more nuke. Or a couple right clicks. He's actually going to get braced. A nice shockwave. Going to get the kill. But the TP in from X-Nova. Going to get one. Looking for a second kill on Mushi. Mushi very, very tanky, being a strength hero and having that Pro Man shield. He's going for that huge stack of suicide. He will get it. So overall, I got to say, really nice rotations. Especially, I don't think Warrior Gaming Unity expected that. Because the two supports were, they should have been out of mana with that previous engagement with the Bane.
Yeah, but they were able to just bring exactly what they needed to bring their opposition down. First the TA, then able to actually sneak the Nature Prophet away with the double teleport factor. First using the global teleport to get onto the lane and the TP scroll to get back to safety. And yeah, Mushi does his thing, gets his bottle. It looks like he's handed it actually over temporarily to the Nyx Assassin to bottle up the 4-minute rune.
That's the best way to get runes. Have your supports get it for you. Have to make that long, tedious walk. And that gank was actually quite necessary for Mushi, because if you look at the CS chart right now, even with that gank, Templar Assassin is, really raking it in terms of gold. And I think this is a byproduct of Mushi's build, who, went for 1-1-1 for that engagement, and now is suffering because he doesn't have the shockwave.
I do want to double check that we're talking in-game for the viewers in Dota TV. Just
okay.
Make sure that they're enjoying the commentary as well. We've got Raven farming up on the top lane. The phase boots is going to allow him to make it so that even if Axe comes to the lane, he's not going to be very comfortable. And in the meantime, that he can progress towards something like the Morbid Mask, and that would allow him to not only jungle, but have the threat of Roshan always available to him. So I think that he's going to be in a pretty good position to start making things happen pretty early on the map. But at least for right now, the kills have kind of stopped rolling in, and we are just going to be seeing a bit of a passive laning experience.
AU's going to sneak around, and he will see Kangaroo going for it. Too high HP to go for the kill. The Axe should be careful if he's...
Oh, that's a kill right here on the Bane. I mean, there is going to be an Axe coming in as well. That nice little Nightmare, and maybe even a taunt coming in. But
okay, they do taunt the Ursa. Now he's running to the right side. He will pop his ultimate to keep himself somewhat alive, as well as pop off that mana leak. And that's actually a big one here, as he is able to walk away. Yeah, pretty good stuff.
So, I mean, it's just kind of a null and void exchange, though. A lot of rotations coming out for WG just to keep the Bane up and kicking. But he does have the potential here with the early levels to obviously get some good burst damage in and maybe find the setup for a dunk, for example. I mean, you look at dunk, it's got 250 kill threshold, and then, of course, you get the brain sap right before that for 160. That's going to enable you to get a kill on a hero like Demon.
Well, Nightmare to set things up, waiting for Kangaroo to walk in range. Should be a very easy kill, easy dunk. Well, unfortunately, now that he's somewhat trapped here between three heroes, Ursa being one of the spins, doing quite a bit of damage, but Spikes getting him down as well. 1-for-1 trade, but drawing a couple of TPs. Honestly, not too bad for the Axe.
Yeah, in the end, he still is able to buy his Tranquil Boots before he goes down, so not in the worst position. But looking at Ajit, this Templar Assassin, we expect it to maybe do pretty well against Magnus, since it is like a short-range hero in the melee strength, and of course the Shockwave is really weak against her refraction. But as we see it right now, able to beat out the Magnus by 20 is just really beyond expectation. Like Mushi, we expected him to maybe struggle in terms of early CS, but this is just so dominant. Ajit's level 7 and Mushi's not even 6.
I mean, a big part of having a Magnus mid is your ability to harass him while CSing, but the refraction also is very good at defensively for that. And not only that, let's not forget about the Ancient stack that Mushi suicide to earlier. Like, they need to be aware of that when the Templar Assassin is going to take it, and they need to make a play around it, because you don't let that TA get it for free.
There are massive stacks on the Radiant side right now for both the hard camp buy, that secret shop, which is at a triple, and of course the Ancient, which is also really big. So in this position, it's got to be Fnatic that try to make the first move in that direction, and right now it just seems like WG have all the tools to keep it safe.
Okay. Meanwhile, we have Nana also farming up some stacks in the jungle. And this is why I think that Warrior Gaming Unity is one of these teams that could actually take Fnatic in a fair fight. They are just super efficient on the map. They have very good playmakers. And at least for now, they are definitely holding their own.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio's been doing some really cool things on the bottom lane. He even has tried to make some rotations. He has the dust. He's ready to make something happen. But we just haven't really seen much connecting from Fnatic. Like, they always need to get that first spell out. And until they have Blink Daggers, it's going to be mostly if WG misstep or if they just really don't see something coming.
Yep. But to be fair, this is not really their time to shine at the moment. You know, you look at a Magnus lineup, there's some time for him to grow, get that blink. Same thing for the Ursa. And of course, that's, you know, AU as well. He hasn't got their 6. So I think Fnatic is about to get their tools real soon, especially if they could get the skank around. Smoke is over as it's broken on the right side, but they might get a Coddle kill for return. X-Nova trying to run away, but easy glimpse back, and the Raph is going to secure the kill.
Yeah, and that was actually a pretty slow reaction coming from Nova, as they had put an observer ward on the high ground underneath an observer sentry and should have realized there was smoke there, but too little too late. The Coddle had stepped too far forward and ends up going down, but they at least will be able to pick up that observer after he comes back up.
Yep.
And I was wrong about the tower by a pretty long shot. 1 minute and 10 seconds early, Raven's able to take that top tier 1. It's definitely possible, but usually you'll see like a level 5, level 7 Nature's Prophet rotating in to try to make that happen, and it just didn't seem necessary. Ohio's mostly been on the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to the Axe being in the jungle and Afu being the placeholder. Ursa gets a lot of, you know, free pot shots. And I think it's more so Fnatic actively looking to push the tower, and they did. So nicely done. But Ajit, I mentioned this, Ancient Stack, it's unaccounted for. He is now ramping himself up amazingly. Do you go for the blink here, or do you go straight for the Deso?
Well, he has his power treads, and I feel like the Deso would kind of allow him to really make the most of that, where you're attacking fast, you're putting out a lot of damage, and you're able to burst targets down. Obviously, both items have their value, but in this position, I think it's much less about getting into place to get the hits in, and much more about just putting in as much damage as possible. So you've got the Blink Axe to set you up. Kangaroo is going to initiate the fights, and I think it's mostly about just killing a target within the duration of Fiend's Grip or in the duration of a call.
Yep. There are some very nice squishy targets that you could blow up with the Blink, Disruptor being one of them, the Nature's Prophet being another. But, you know, I guess it comes down to his preference as well. Raven, going to go straight for Roche. I do believe Radiant is fully aware of that. Luminance going to be channeled into the pit. Of course, they could throw traps to see where Roche is at. And
that's why the Sentry Wards are actually. It's just to keep an eye on that. There's no way that they walk in Invis.
Mushi is Invis. He's swinging around, and so is AU. I do believe they see AU, though. They're pinging him out. No more Sentry Ward available on X-Nova. A lot of information being granted. Smoke popped and broken immediately by 2 separate players, and now they're going to go straight into the pit. Enrage has been used. Blink, call. They're going to actually get the call, but who is actually going to take down Roshan? Illuminate's going to follow through. They're actually going to get him dead. The Aegis hits the ground. It looks like Juggernaut's going to be the one to pick it up. Meanwhile, on the right side here, Demon dropping very low. Just going to kill him. Blinding Light actually saving the Magnus, but I think that is still a big enough victory here for Warriors Gaming. 2 kills, Ursa being one of them, and they get the Roche. I don't know who got the last hit, though.
It was the Radiant, either Axe or Juggernaut was able to take the last hit on Roshan, as well as the Aegis Immortal, as well as those 2 kills. And that timing couldn't have been more perfect. One more Fury swipe with that Enrage, and that is going to be a kill on Roche. But a little bit of bash luck favoring WG as they are able to just jump in and make some big things happen. Now they've got level 6 on everybody. So
mid lane, yeah, they got a kill as well. Axe getting that dunk. Man, that blink timing,
it's extremely good.
Yeah, pristine and on time. And I think given the nature of what just happened in the past, 1 minute, if you're Ajit, I think you go Deso. Now you're so far ahead that you could be sieging towers, and having that extra damage as well as minus armor is just key.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like 3k banked up, so he definitely is going to be able to pick that up in a very short time frame. And in the meantime, you're still beating on the tier 2, in fact. That Blightstone getting a little bit of extra damage in here, and you're just really not afraid. I mean, Fnatic, they are not very good at surprising you. Right now, their movements are very pronounced, and any threats you'll see coming a mile away.
Yep. Well, until they get the blink on Mushi, which he's, that last 200 is always the toughest one. Nana will walk away, and Impale will hit on him as well. No spin here by Nana. He does have Aegis. I guess he's unafraid. Now they push in the Bane as well. Blink call that's going to get 2. Can they actually make the return play? They're going to focus. Ooh, actually push away, but Luminate is going to get him. Meanwhile, the big bear man will walk away. So 1-for-1 trade and a buyback from Bane. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, really just want to get back involved in that one. I mean, he got the Fiend's Grip out for only a second, maybe got a little frustrated by that, but in the end, they're not able to really make the most of the Aegis, and they do take the Tier 2, as well as kill off the Nyx Assassin, so, I mean, and the buyback doesn't really come of anything, but it also doesn't cost them too much in the long term. The Axe is going to be able to transition from not only the Blink to being extra tanky on top of it, and the TA, as we talked about, is going to have that Desolator at a really good time.
Yeah. And, you know, Warrior Gaming has a non-stop stacking throughout all of this. Every time I see Ajit, he's either in lane killing heroes, killing creeps, or he's at the ancient stack, you know, killing more ancients. So this net worth, he is about 2.5k ahead of the next highest for Fnatic. So I say the game is looking pretty good.
Yeah. Now, I'm noticing that Kangaroo is actually going to be going for the Blade Mail just immediately after the Blink Dagger without any HP items. And the reason I see this is mostly against this Ursa.
Yep.
If the Ursa is close to max Furious Swipes, is not going for a max Earthshock build, you can just kill him on his own sword. If you're able to get a really good call out and he happens to have Overpower already active, this can just completely shut him down. I mean, Raven...
You won't be at a great ship afterwards, but yeah, you do take down the Ursa.
Yeah, it's at a cost for sure, but all the same, I think it definitely can be worth it because right now Raven is in a really bad spot. He's only 1-1-1 in kills, and he's got what, Poor Man's Shield, Phase Boots, Morbid Mask, and maybe about to get a Blink Dagger. Like, he's in a really weak spot in terms of his item progression, and the Axe could keep that shut down for a long time.
Blink play, Blade Mail being activated, not even Dunk coming out because Ajit also there. Didn't need to pop the DD, and I like the way that they're using this Kato, kind of a mobile beacon as he now calls him up top, and with this double damage, that is a tier 2. So despite the blinks being picked up on Fnatic, I just don't think they're able to keep up the tempo that Warrior Gaming is bringing to them. Yeah,
very fast paced. They were very economical in the earlier parts of the game, getting free farm on Nana, getting massive stacks for Ajit, and now it's all paying off with a little bit of good jungle farming from Kangaroo. They've got their initiation, they've got their damage, and Fnatic have to be scratching their heads at this point. They really don't have a great answer to any of this. It's got to be just an overwhelming RP from Mushi.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games where he just said, dude, that escalated quite quickly. That Roche fight had just... The net worth of that fight individually wasn't that great of an exchange, but what transpired after, like 2 tier 2s, couple of fights, you know, the Axe getting a Blade Mail on top of everything, and where is that Fnatic comeback? The tools are there, the Blink Dagger like you mentioned, but I mean, let's say you get a 2-3 man RP, there's really not that much damage. You're looking at an Impale, a Wrath of Nature, maybe a Storm on top. I don't know, the kills are going to be hard to come by.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a massive game changer, that Roche fight. I mean, it was just a 2,500 net worth for advantage for WG.Unity, and it's only been like maybe 3 minutes since then, and we're seeing that we're skyrocketing towards 10k.
Yep, that's going to be another kill.
Just getting all this set up, easy peasy. I mean, Ohio, he's trying to do the best he can to create space by pushing out the lanes, but it comes at a risk, and, well, he's been playing a really good profit game on the bottom lane. As a whole, it hasn't really had that big of an impact. So now he gets picked off a couple times. He's not setting anything up for his team. And we're going to be seeing more advanced vision coming out from WG. I mean, they've already got one really good lane ward up top. Interesting ward near the Roche pit. And that's going to scout Raven trying to make a move bottom.
Well, they're ganking up a Bane. I mean, even if they get the Bane, it's just a Bane. It's more so...
It's a dieback, though.
Okay.
That's something.
All right, he just Nightmare himself and walks it off. Well, maybe not.
Oh, no.
Grip, and now the ports are coming in. This is looking bad. Mushi now goes in. RP does only hit 1. And now taunt on 2. And Ajit goes to work. That's going to be 2 kills on the 2 cores. Blinding Light into the tower. Mana burning on on AU. He's going to be dead right after this. This is going to be a full team wipe. Nope, just 4. Right under the tier 1 tower. And that's your RP spent. I see Ajit and the rest of the team just draw a line to their Raxes.
Yep, Reverse Polarity only connects on the Bane, who had already exhausted all of his cooldowns, isn't afraid to die whatsoever, and...
but it's a dieback, though.
Yeah, it is a dieback. But at the same time, like, you see the best combo that Jimmy can get. Demon goes for the kinetic static onto at least 2 for full duration, and it doesn't matter at all. Like, they're just in such a commanding position this game, and Fnatic, their next RP has to be a game changer, because right now, they're about to get raxed.
Well, maybe we could make some sort of skewer play.
It looks like they're going to kind of rest on laurels for now, maybe wait for the next Roshan. While Ursa definitely has the potential to take the first Roche, we see that got already stolen, and the TA might be in a good position to take the second. She has traps, advanced vision, she has a lot of negative armor, and I think they just have better jump and fight potential. Like, yes, there's a Blink RP, but Axe practically has an RP on a 10-second cooldown. Like, he'll just be able to repeatedly blink and control the opposition. While they're attacking him, he's still doing even more damage thanks to that blade mail.
Yeah, I think when Axe first came to prominence, maybe a year or two ago, that's a comparison that was made to Axe. You know, he's like a Magnus, except much lower cooldown. And once Playmail got buffed, you know, he's definitely the go-to offlaner, some would say. He's got another 2K in the bank. Is this where you go back for the Vanguard and make sure you don't die to the Ursa, or are we looking for more mobility, like maybe a 4-staff?
I think the Vanguard would be pretty solid. You need to definitely boost up your HP. The enemy is going to be trying to build up their effective HP, their lifesteal, maybe their armor to try to deal with this blade mail, and you just kind of win that arms race because you're already so far ahead. You're snowballing in kills. You have more of the map to farm thanks to all these great observer wards placed out by the Radiant, and it just, yeah, I think you just continue to build that up and make it so that there's no way that they can out-tank you.
I mean, there's also a possibility of a BKB. I mean, Fnatic does have a little bit of magic damage, but I think you're so far ahead that you don't really even need that magic immunity. You kind of just go in with the Vanguard and just watch them kill themselves.
Pretty much. I mean, if the Axe doesn't do it, the TA certainly will. She has the blink now, so she can follow up right beside him, add in some extra negative armor, so the blade mill's even doing more. It's pretty massive what WG is able to do in just a short time. Like, usually at this point of the game, if it was even, like, you'd be looking for, hopefully Afu can get like a full duration Fiend's Grip and not get canceled out, and hopefully you can find like a good call before the Ursa just tears somebody up. But this game is so lopsided that the Ursa's not a threat, and the Bane is just like icing on the cake if he's able to get some good spells out.
I say the Bane is actually one of the second most dangerous hero on Warrior Gaming's right now, because next to the Axe, he could solo, you know, set up pickoffs as a support, which is super valuable when you're, especially when this far ahead. They're gonna play it somewhat slow, like you said, just gonna wait for the map control to do their work. Although they're not really actively looking for pickoffs anymore.
So I guess they are going to be waiting for just a couple more items to come to their fold. They probably feel pretty confident, even without a Battle Fury, in their ability to just farm faster. Ursa is a kill-dependent hero. If he's not able to find kills, he's not able to really get much traction in the game. He does not farm nearly as fast as a TA or a Juggernaut, no matter what the item builds are. So, I mean, I guess like double Mjolnir might farm faster, but
he does have Empower. But no, I hear you. It's not going to be enough to play the catch-up game, especially farming.
And it's all under vision, so if they want to, they can just go ahead, smoke up, make a move, and I think that Fnatic are just going to be caught without any real response.
Looking at Mushi, looks like he's gone for a mech. This is, I wonder if that's his normal build, as Mushi is known to go for, I mean, he likes his mid-mechs quite a bit.
Sure.
But ever since the mana nerf on the item, I'm not sure whether Magnus could fully support it. He does have the arcane boots, but still, you do tend to spam Shockwave a bit.
Yeah. You're not going to be getting a refresher anytime soon this game, and it used to be the big deal that Magnus could get the Blink, Arcane's refresher as quickly as possible. You only need maybe a 4-staff to support the mana pool.
Right.
And going for this mechanism means like you're not going to have a refresher before like 45 minutes, maybe.
We're looking at a gank here for Juggernaut. Bananas seems to be quite aware of it. And now the rest of Warrior Gaming Unity is coming for a gank.
But in the meantime, Aljet is actually not going to be involved in this one. He's focused on pushing out the top lane. He's going to be farming that up. And that actually could set up maybe an opportunity for like the Nyx Assassin and the Nature's Prophet to move against him. One strength of Fnatic's lineup is their ability to find pickoffs with these two heroes, because the Nyx can stalk prey, and obviously the Nature's Prophet can get there at any moment. So I feel like they do have a lot of good pickoff potential. The problem is that WG are just perfectly fine to move as 5 at this moment, and I think that they're very soon going to be just pressuring the high ground in a way that Fnatic don't have an easy response.
I mean, I buy the pickoff if they were not so behind, because these heroes are more or less dependent on the nuke damage, and TA is going to survive quite a while, especially if her refractions are up. Fnatic, though, instead of looking for a random pick, they're bringing the whole team. Fortunately, again, you know, Fnatic just not getting lucky.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good call from Jimmy. Like, making the smoke play, wrapping in that the Nature Prophet, time and time again, has been called by the Axe and assassinated. So this time they try to give him some bodyguards. But in the end, it seems to be seen through by WG, and they're just going to keep on the front line here. Almost killing off the Magnus, but he gets to blink away in time.
Okay, tier 2 up top here, being slowly pushed by Fnatic. In fact, none of the heroes are showing, and they don't want to commit for hitting the tower. Well, Afu in position, and keep in mind, any hero that he nightmares is almost guaranteed to die, so even as a support defending the tower, they can't really do too much to him.
Even the fact is that even if he gets caught inside the a Disruptor combo and an Ursa, he's got a Ghost Scepter. So while he'll take quite a bit of damage from the Disruptor, he should be able to survive.
Okay, well, now ports are coming in. You can see Afu's going forward. Kangaroo gonna get glimpsed back. That's one hero away, and with that, no more chase.
Yeah, I almost feel like if you had more in your arsenal...
Oh, they want to pick him.
Oh, that would be really nice.
The
The recall!
Man, the place.
Extremely good place. And they even waste it. They think he's still there, and they are dead wrong. This Kangaroo just kind of pulls a Houdini and zips out of existence thanks to the recall from the Keeper of the Light.
I wonder if Ohio Sprout did not see him. Like, it was really close, right?
It was like at the same time, essentially. So it's very possible, but maybe they saw him and they saw he jumped out further somehow. Maybe he doesn't have a Force Staff, but you never know.
Maybe they click on him. It's like he has no TP because
Okay.
obviously he just poured a top.
Okay, this would be really cruel if he goes and has a Shadow Amulet and shows that he has a Shadow Amulet, so they think that he wasn't there, that he was there the whole time, and they just didn't have the right location for detection.
All right, Demon's gonna get caught here, and Demon dead. No big ults being spent. Not that he needed it. And now, second Roche, and honestly, this is perhaps one more pick away from Graxus going down.
Shadowblade Axe. You never see this. Like,
well, you're never so far ahead to afford this kind of, you know, next level luxury. Normally, you'd be working back for a mech, or sorry, for a Vanguard, right?
So interesting thing about the Shadowblade is that you can actually Berserker's Call Shadowblade, and they'll just kind of follow you around without being able to hit you, assuming they don't have detection.
Right.
That being said, in immediate reply, we're going to see AU pick up a Gem of True Sight, which will find itself onto Mushi's Magnus. A lot rests on Mushi's Magnus. If he gets picked off, the game is over. You lose your Mag for a team fight, RP for a team fight, as well as a gem back the other way. Like, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
He has to play so safe right now.
Now, this is where Warrior Gaming Unity had a little bit of trouble in their first opening game against Faceless. They were ahead, maybe not by this much, but they were definitely ahead. They took perhaps even one lane of melee racks, but they just can't finish the game. I think if there's one weakness in WG's play, is their inability to go for a very clean, pristine high ground play.
Yeah, like you were mentioning before, they didn't really seem to want to press their advantage. They were mostly focusing on farming up just one or two more items. Now they're about at that critical mass where they do have the Manta Diffusal on Jug in just a moment, and TA has her 10-second BKB. So I feel like after that Diffusal's finished, there's really nothing more to wait for, and they can just go for a kill. Oh my gosh, if they kill him, that would just be the game. But as it is, they're going to continue to recall. They still have got the Aegis. They still want to use it. And we're going to have all eyes on Mushi for the potential high ground defense.
Well, I mean, honestly, they could just send TA with Refraction up and just start hitting the tower a bit. There's really no real way to control
Blink
her.
Skewer.
Oh, yeah, that's
still a thing.
Yeah.
That's like practically a fountain hook. That's so big in this situation. But we'll see about that positioning.
He's got Aegis and BKB, so
Well, actually, it'd have to be kind of comboed up with like an Impale, because the Refraction would actually protect the Blink Dagger, and he would be able to blink away out afterwards. So he'd have to be impaled while Blink Skewered. Which
I guess you could RP him, but you can't spend RP on an Aegis solo hero. So.
No way.
Oh, they gotta make up their mind soon, because Ajit is punching this tier 3, and because of the Desos dropping fast, are we gonna make a wraparound or anything? No, they're just conceding the Raxes.
There's no way they could really come back in this position if they lose this so early, and yet here it is. They're admitting that they don't really have an opening. They're not even smoking up the Magnus. He's just going to go for it, and she blinks out anyways.
All right, well, Ajit continues the siege. Tier 2 up top is taking a lot of damage, but they're getting Raxes. Not really a fair trade here.
Not
Ajit
remotely.
gets the 2 clean racks. She'll be able to blink away.
And they're not going to
Okay,
just rest
never
with
mind.
that.
Yeah, let's go.
Like, why would you? There you can just go in for the tier 3 tower. You're going to be in a really good position. And Ajit, I mean, he played amazingly in his last game. Was actually able to be a Drow Ranger with some of the strongest KDA I've ever seen on the hero at that timing. But here we have him just kind of being the unstoppable juggernaut up on the top line. Of course, there's a jug behind him. That's kind of confusing. But no, this guy is just large and in charge here.
Okay, Blink Call is going to find the most important player. Nice Storm here protecting him. RP's going to get spent as well. Mushi needs to run. He will survive. Oh, no, Blink 4, Omni Slash. Mushi is dead. Gem hits the deck. Actually, looks like the Jug does not pick it up. On the backline, Demon gets assassinated. Now AU being focused. The spikes are coming out. They are focusing on the Templar Assassin. She's got the Aegis, so she's going to be fine. Blinking forwards, Nana again, popping the Diffusal Blade on Ohio. Ohio is going to pour home just fine. I say that, though. Ajit comes in with the assassination. And that's going to be a second lane of racks. I do believe that's honestly all the gas left in the tank.
Yeah, backdoor production kicked in for a moment there, but it looks like it's not going to be enough to... Well, they're buying back. They're actually kind of repelling WG. We'll see their next move. They've got 4 heroes. They seem confident enough at least to poke down the melee racks, and now I think you walk away.
Well, Blinding Light's going to push Ravens back. He's out of mana, but the Sprout actually brings Juggernaut in. Somehow he got pushed back out. On the backside, Ajit kills the bear. Now goes for the supports. All right, this game, Fnatic is really trying to make something happen, but they are making a situation out of no situation. Because this is all Warrior Gaming Unity all the way. Ohio trying to pour it out. Nightmare cancels the port. Ohio's going to be dead. And we're entering fountain farming territory. GG's going to get called in. After that Roche fight, there was no looking back.
It really was. I mean, that was, like we said, the defining factor of the game. 2,500 to 10K net worth advantage going for WG.Unity in the span of maybe 4 minutes. It was just a tremendous swing forward for them. Really well-timed initiation in the pit. Well executed in terms of their early farming patterns. So Juggernaut pretty much had it free easy. You could do that in a bots game. But TA had to fight for it with her ancient farming. And, of course, the Axe was able to get a lot out of the jungle with the Talon early. So, yes, the trade-off was a top-tier one. But in the end, that became the most inconsequential tower of the game. And I think Fnatic knew it. They made their moves, and unfortunately they just made them too late. Like the RPs weren't consequential enough to make the Magnus pick valuable, and in general it just was WG snowballing with a better economy and more critical items.
Yeah, I guess you summed it up very well. I guess if we have to award the MVP, probably Kangaroo on that kind of precise blink pickup timing, how much he made out of that Roshan pit, and the rest is history. So Fnatic's pristine win streak today now ends to Warriors Gaming Unity, and WG perhaps is one of those teams that you need to pay attention to, maybe grabbing the 3rd or 4th slot on the rest of the group stage matches. So one of those teams that I honestly thought should have been directly invited. I'm glad that they made it through the open, and now they're flexing their muscles. So.
Yeah, they didn't have too much trouble with the open qualifier, so in the end, no harm, no foul. And I actually do think that they're in the best position to take that 4th slot now. So, of course, we had previously undefeated Fnatic, Faceless, and Mineski. Now Warriors Gaming joining the ranks of high potentials for those playoffs. But that's going to be figured out tomorrow because we've still got plenty of games left to be played. We've only got one more heat coming up in just a couple minutes here on BTS 1 and 4. And then we're going to be calling it a night and turning it over to the EU and the Americas.
Right, so the game that's coming up, it's going to be TNC versus Mongols. And I do believe that's the one where we're actually casting. There's also going to be Mineski versus sig.trust ongoing as well. So
the guys on BTS 1 might take a look at that one, but we will have TNC versus Mongols here on BTS 4, and we'll be bringing that up as soon as possible.
All right, guys, we're going to take a relatively quick break. Actually, is it going to be a quick break?
Hopefully. We'll see.
All right. My guess is 5 minutes. Give or take 5 minutes.
Well, we've seen how your predictions have been today with me. But that's Luminous Inverse. I'm Blaze at Blaze Casting, and we will see you guys for the next game. Thanks for tuning in.